It's another day for 360 U Dialogue. Welcome, my name is Juliet Ora, and thank you for tuning in to Third Eye Africa TV. I have here with me today Jennifer and Jibo. Jibo is one of our tech crew, and Jibo has a lot of talent and a lot to say. I trust Jibo. Jibo, you are welcome to 360 U Dialogue.
Nice being here.
And you guys are saying Jennifer. Jennifer, you are welcome.
Thank you.
So it's like the first quarter of the year is already off and gone. So what's your resolution? Have you met like half or first quarter of your resolution, your New Year resolution?
Man, my new resolution is being active.
Really, really active.
Being active. You know, I've been working in technical department.
Mm.
You try to balance up and then meet up with your goals. There are times that things will not work the way you want. You just need to learn new ways of doing them. So for me, I'll tell you, this first quarter I've gained a lot.
In just 3 months, you have gained a lot. Jenny, what about you?
One. My New Year resolution. Just one. One.
Just
One.
one.
It's just one, though, but like she said, it's just in the first quarter, right?
So I think
So it's still fresh.
Yes, so
quarter.
Oh, wow.
going down.
Oh, still going down.
Before maybe August, something will happen.
I do something.
I think we just have to like believe that we're growing.
Right.
Yeah, sure.
As long as you're growing, you're doing something. That's what matters. And today, that's interesting. Today, we're going to be talking about a very interesting topic: unemployment, the role of the youth. And unemployment is a song that has been sung long enough, and the youth are the dancers. Nigeria has a large and youthful population. Nigeria's population is estimated to be around 229.5 million, and that's just an estimation because the last time there was a census was like God knows when. I think I was 5 years or so, making it the most populous country in Africa, with about 70% of its people under 30. In the second quarter of 2024, unemployment rate was 4.3%. And considering the size of the nation, this figure doesn't even match with what we see because the number of people that are unemployed, the number of people that are graduate, and the number of people that are being dropped out from their work does not equate year in, year out. People graduate, more people are left unemployed. We have seen the downturn of unemployment spiral into criminal activities, leaving the youth idle. And what do they say about an idle mind? It's the devil's workshop. Unemployment, undauntedly, is a problem both to individual and to the society. Who is to be blamed, and how can this long-standing issue be solved? All this we will be discussing after a quick break. Do stay with us. Welcome back. So let's dialogue on this issue, unemployment, especially among the youth. And if you're just joining us, this is 360 U Dialogue and only on Third Eye Africa TV. So what would you describe, or who would you describe as an unemployed youth?
Well, first, for me to describe an unemployed youth, let's look at what unemployment is.
Okay.
I think that would be.
Yeah, we have to understand the concept of unemployment.
Well, for me, I think unemployment refers to a situation where a person actively search. Now let's underline the word
Actively search.
for employment,
Mm.
right? Actively search for employment, but is unable to access one.
Okay.
Now, remember I said let's underline the word active.
Mm.
First, for you to be able to seek for a job, it means you are active. And when we see somebody is active, activeness is like is it a verb or a proverb?
It's a verb.
So first, for you to be active, it means you are willing.
So
You are
the
interested
person.
in doing it.
There's this urge that is there.
Yeah, there's an urge. You have an idea you want to set out.
Okay.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
Now, If you are willing and you are searching for an opportunity and that opportunity is not made available for you, it means you are unemployed.
Mm.
That's how I describe
So
an unemployed
unemployed,
youth.
an unemployed youth is for you is someone who has gone to look for a job
Yes.
and cannot find.
Yes.
So the person that hasn't gone is
Person
just a youth.
is just a stay at home youth.
Remote youth.
Stay at home. Let's just use the word stay at
Stay
home.
at home.
Because a remote youth is even different. At least you
You're-
go out,
yeah,
you
yeah.
and even if you don't work, you go out, you meet people who work. At least with that, your
Yeah.
mindset is changing gradually. But a stay at home youth who don't go out, you only wait for people to go and bring for you. You get? I don't know if you've been in situations where you go out, hustle under the sun, and then as soon as you're paid, somebody chats you up
From
with
somewhere.
Send
And then it's like the
Send-
person is waiting for you.
Sure, like
The person is monitoring your
Monitoring
calendar. Like,
screen.
how did you?
you know when you're broke, yeah, when you don't have money, they don't call you. They don't.
I think
As soon as money comes in,
They wake up.
you wake
I
up,
think
what's happening?
the people you're classifying as the stay at home youth,
Yeah.
how they make their living is by monitoring the employed
The
people,
willing,
the willing, active
Those that
ones.
go out and
ones.
hustle.
Yeah, so
Understand?
immediately they get their basic guy.
Guy alpha. Like, so it's just like the common thing monkey dey walk, babu dey chop.
Exactly.
You get?
So Jenny, would you agree with Jibo that an unemployed youth is someone who is willing, active, but is not able to find a job?
Yes.
Or what do you think?
Honestly, like Jibo said, somebody that is looking for but is not privileged to find or find himself or herself in that environment where I have to showcase myself. But I want to showcase myself, but I am limited to showcase myself, right?
So now, I like the fact we are taking it away from the person. We're taking it to the condition.
Yeah.
Because before now, when you say an unemployed youth, they see a person. Say, oh, that person is unemployed. But with the whole discussion now, what I've understood is an unemployed youth is not a person, but is the situation around
Yeah.
the person.
Yeah.
And that makes so much sense. So now, let's jump into this unemployment. What are the factors actually that make people consistently? Because unemployment, I'm sure, from 1960s down to till today, people are still unemployment, but there are still people that are employed. So what are the factors that make people unemployed and the others employed? Yeah, do you want to go ahead?
I'll probably say job market competition. There
Job
is
market competition in what way?
too many people competing for a particular job, and the job is limited.
Okay.
There is I would like to say environment. I'll probably say environment. Yes, there is environment. There is that willingness. The willingness is this like, do I want to do this? Do I want to go outside and make myself better? Do I want to better myself, better my life? Do I want to start up a career? There is also that, yes.
So what do you think, Jibo? What would you say are the major factors, like the major consistent contributors?
Well, for me, first thing first, I would say one is willingness.
That willingness. I think that's like a striking
For me
word.
first, I'll tell you it's willingness because the major problem we're facing in Nigeria is we have youth who are creative, like very creative, but not willing. Only few are willing. You get? And then the common saying out there is I want to be a boss of myself. I don't want to be answerable to anybody. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Now, take this from me. I'll tell you for free. If you want to be a boss of your own, you must have served under somebody. You need experience to govern you.
True.
Do you understand? Now, how do you operate your own enterprise without having experience of how other people
Have run
run
theirs.
it?
Right.
You need to work under somebody, either internship, apprenticeship, or whatever, to gain knowledge. Sometimes you see bosses bullying people and then you feel they are just being wicked. No. they're selling out knowledge to you free of charge. So that tomorrow when you become a boss, you will not allow somebody to come and mismanage your own for you. You understand? So for me, that's why I always say number one factor I look at is willingness.
Mm.
If you are willing, you go out, you look for a job. Now there are people who are willing. Like let me speak for myself.
Mm.
I remember back then I was in primary one or so, and then I was passing where I usually pass to school. I don't see there's a shop of a guy who's a cobbler, makes shoes.
Okay, yes.
I was like, how is he doing this thing? And then I developed interest. Do you understand?
Right.
I will not sleep, I will not eat.
Mm.
I kept disturbing. I was still with my aunt. I kept disturbing me. I want to learn this thing. You see willingness,
Yes.
Mm.
right? Now I went there to learn. It's a skill for me. Do you get? Even if I'm not practicing that skills today,
There's something of a
it's
leverage
something
you have.
for me.
Right.
Because if I want to buy a pair of shoe,
Mm.
I
You
need
can
the
make it.
best material
Right.
for that.
Exactly.
Do you understand? But let's not even there. Let's come back to your own implementation. Let's see you gaining knowledge. Like you said, Jenny, the competition.
Yes.
See, the economy is competitive.
Mm.
Take it or leave it. And nobody will employ you to come and shut down his or her business.
Right.
You get?
Yes.
So, first, the person wants to see your zeal, your willingness first. You see that willingness,
Mhm.
I don't joke with it. Then, secondly, the person wants to see your skills.
Mm.
How disciplined are you? What can you do?
Mm.
If I am not around today, can this person handle my business?
Very
You
true.
understand?
Mm.
So you find out, you go to an interview, and then at the end of the day, you are qualified, you have the good certificate and whatever, but you are sidelined.
Mm.
You get? From the way you present yourself, your mode of presentation determines if psychologically you're fit to do a job or not.
Mm.
Nobody wants to employ trouble now.
Mhm.
That's right.
You get?
Yes.
So even the issue I would say government are not doing this, government are not doing that, government are not doing that. Let's go to government organization and then other companies owned by the government. Let's see what is happening there. Go and see abandoned cars
Mm.
that are worth millions of naira. They bought these cars with public money, employed people as drivers to take care of these things. But then,
The recklessness of people.
recklessness of people feeling it's our money, it's not government property.
Mm.
Let's
So they
do
don't
what we want.
feel
You
ownership
don't
of
value it, you don't feel ownership. Now the question is, if that car you bought it with your money,
Mm. Would you treat it?
will you treat it the way it is?
Exactly.
So we keep blaming government, saying
Right.
government and
I think
this
we'll
government and
come back to that.
Mm.
But you've hammered on willing, willing. I want you to describe, because there are a lot of you that are willing, because you just have to be willing with this economy. You just have to be willing. By the time you get hungry, the first day, second day, pressure needs. You just have to be willing. But now, exactly. But now, your willingness, what would you? I want you to break that willingness, because there are people that actually prepare their CV, go out there, put up the best smile, the best character. So for you, what really is that willingness?
For me, I would say this: your willingness is your skills.
Mm.
Let's not take it away. Your willingness is your skills. Willingness is not a dream.
Mm.
It's not something you just sit and dream. I want to be a manager of this. I'm dreaming to be this. No,
Mm.
how skillful are you? See, in as long as job opportunities are competitive, you need to stand out.
Very true.
You get? You need to stand out.
Okay.
You find out. Let me, I'm not done.
Okay.
You find out they give you a job on trial,
Right.
and your boss comes to office before you.
Mm.
That's one.
Mm.
You're still sleeping at home.
Mm.
It's not somebody's job. It's not my job. After all, the only thing you can do is sack me or give me query. So,
Very.
do you understand?
Right.
But if you value it, see somebody who is willing to do something, you can't take it away from him.
Mm-hmm.
You don't need to remind the person.
True.
Do you understand? Somebody who is willing You can't take it away from him. The person prepare his mind towards what he's doing. You get? And even when the person goes wrong, he's open to correction. Let me add up something to this willingness so that we understand something. There's something I used to say to my guys, my instrumentalists. I see you can only correct somebody who is fat, FAT, faithful, available, and teachable. You get? Go out to even the blue collar jobs we're talking about. These days, like of recent, I saw one woman that she took her child back to the place he learns furniture making, and then she was shouting at the boss, "Why would you beat my son? Why would you do?" And then I was like, "Eh." When I was learning three, they will beat you in the shop. Come back, see before you get home. Your parents are waiting for you because they reported you to your parents already.
And they will beat you
They will beat you double measure at home. Do you understand?
Yeah. Right.
Just of recent, I was going home and then I saw some boys kneeling down with their hands up, and then I remember those
Those
days.
days, well, it's actually rare to see people.
It's rare these days. Even in schools now, even our schools is spoiled. You find out parents go to school and then go and say, "Why would the teacher beat my child?"
Or even shout at my
They say, "No, for what?
I won't
How much? Wait.
out.
How much is the school fees you're shouting? We were going to the school. We will collect it. See, you didn't even pass your own teacher on the streets."
Okay, let's not deviate. Let's talk about you said something about blue collar jobs. You know, you're going to learn from a cobbler at that very young age.
Yeah.
So the popularity of these white collar jobs, everybody wants to put on a suit, a tie, carry a briefcase in the morning, and head for the bus station. So the popularity of this white collar job, do you think it has diminished or it has added up to unemployed youth in Nigeria? Because I think nobody wants to be associated with I'm a carpenter, I'm a mechanic. Everybody wants to, be a white collar job.
I want to
person.
work in a corporate
Yeah,
environment.
corporate environment.
Yeah.
So do you think it has added, or maybe people don't just have that skill, like Jibo said?
I feel like it has, honestly. Would I say it has? Okay, probably white collar jobs has made a lot of youth not willing. Still another word, not willing. For example, you see somebody that will say, "Oh, I want to work in a bank. I rather work in a bank and than stay at home and learn a skill and start from somewhere." Because why? Because they feel like somebody in a bank earns a certain amount of salary, and then me, I'll be doing this thing, and then was it you that was talking about how we give ourselves pep talk or how exactly? So I feel like yes, it contributes.
But I mean, white collar jobs pay more than blue collar jobs.
But at the same time, you see somebody a business and person or an entrepreneur
Yeah.
that earns much more than
Good.
somebody in a
So I want
corporate
to-
environment.
You see this idea? Let's see. Our youth fail to understand this.
Right.
I've had interactions with this Abuki, these guys from the shoe shining and
Exactly.
the Okadas. Like I'm good in having conversation with this guy. And then I was discussing. Somebody was fixing my shoe, and then I was asking him, "Where did you come from?" And he came from Kano, stays in Abuja, walking around Abuja to polish people's shoe. And then I asked him, "How much, like on average, how much do you
Did
make?"
you earn?
And the guy said, if in a day the least he makes is 4,005, 5,000 and above. In fact, there are times he makes more than 10K a day. Now, I want us to really understand something. You want to do a white collar job, right? How much is minimum wage?
70,
70K.
70, right?
70K.
Mm.
Okay. 70K. Okay. I just want us to understand. You want a white collar job of 70K. That's if the organization you're working with will be
Is willing to pay you that 70K
And then you wait for 30 days
before you see
For
your salary.
for that 70K.
Right.
and then somebody is making 5,000 naira
A day.
you think you're wiser than the person, or you think you're richer than the person.
Exactly.
Do you understand?
Right.
So people don't really look at this from this direction. Like, why would I go and be working till the next 30 days?
9 to 5.
Do you understand?
Right.
You want to make money. While somebody is making money on daily basis, you're wearing suit and tie, but you come back home and the next morning, you don't have anything to eat. The next morning, you're asking your neighbor who is selling sugarcane in front of your house
Something.
to borrow you transport. Do you understand?
Right.
I will tell you this for free. There are a lot of people who work in big organizations that on daily basis, when they pay them salary, what they pay as debt to these Okada riders, and then
It's
what we
much more than
what we
that.
call Mirua, and how much remains on the salary. Do you understand?
Right.
You know the value of naira.
Mm.
Even if you're earning 500k,
Mm.
how much is your transport?
Mm-hmm.
And
From that
the people
place.
you give the transport are actually doing a job
Doing a
instead
job.
of you. So it's like
Yes. So it's just like now you are a boss paying somebody.
Right.
You are now a boss who have hired somebody doing blue collar jobs. So you are doing a white collar job.
and you're
And
selling
you are a
Yeah.
boss of a
Yeah.
blue collar job.
And to add to what Jibo said in terms of having your own flexibility, skill, or what, there is growth. When you look at, for example, bankers, when you're working in a bank, your calendar is tight. It's like morning every day, and you're earning a particular payroll, or rather, you're earning a particular salary. Now, for somebody that is doing what's it called?
a blue collar job.
A blue collar job, right, has the flexibility to have more than that blue collar job, like these Uber people. I know somebody that is a carpenter. He's a carpenter, but his means of living is not a carpenter way of living. I mean, I don't like to use the term carpenter, because anytime I'm having a conversation with him, I'm like, you're not a carpenter, you're a furniture maker.
Yeah.
Do you understand? And he was saying something about him, that he had a client, Kini, and then the work he did for the person earned him $1 million. I'm like, you did work for one person in
That's
a
for
day,
one client.
and
That's
you
for
earned
one
$1
client.
million.
And do you understand?
I think
So
people have
so at that
played
point, why would I now waste my time looking for a white collar job?
Exactly.
That I know that white collar job is highly competitive.
Exactly.
So that brings us to this point of youth taking their CV. They believe that, okay, instead of me to go and maybe start off something,
Right.
or be a carpenter and be shamed or laughed
Embarrassed.
at, or embarrassed, that's the word. I'd rather, keep sending out my CV until something works out.
Right.
And that takes us to the point of talent, skills over certificate. So now, speaking of certificates, Nigerians are so quick to get certificates. Once someone is done with their BSc, they're heading for MSc. From MSc, they're heading for PhD. And some people would rather keep earning this certificate rather than gaining skills, right? And in school, in the school curriculums, this doesn't fit to outside the walls of the school. What they teach in school, they're not practical in some cases. They're just paperwork. They're not practical. So don't this mean that the education system has also played a role in bringing out more unemployed youth, in graduating more unemployed youth? What do you think?
School is good. Yes, school is important. For some people, school works for them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially if you're going through the professional way.
Even if you're going through the professional way, yes, but school is important. But at the same time, there's also plan B. There's also need for having a plan B. Peradventure, you find yourself in a geographical location where your school does not fit in. Comes in your plan B.
Plan B, exactly.
Exactly.
Now let me add to this. School is important. Very, very,
Very
Very
important.
good.
very, very.
Right.
But then,
Emphasis on the good.
skills
It's much more
much
important.
more important.
That's where the plan B comes in.
Now, let's relate it to this common thing. A lot of youth out there will say school na scam,
Yes.
right?
I totally disagree,
No,
honestly.
wait, no, wait.
That's school
No,
na
no,
scam.
no. I know a lot of you watching this program. You have this question to answer for yourself. If you say school na scam, how can you justify it? What skills do you have to replace school?
Right, exactly.
You can only say school has come if you have
When you have something to show for
Let me
it.
tell you the advantage your skills have over the certificate. Let's say, for instance, you're working in an organization, and then you're a good cook. You're a good cook, and then your boss has somebody who has been employed to do that same thing, and then you come to the office and then you find out that person, your boss is complaining this person cannot do the common coffee, and then you're like, sorry sir, can I make you coffee? You stand in the place of that person, and then you make it more better
It's all
from the way you present it to your boss. You see that skill you just
that you had.
Yeah, right.
will override your CV.
Very true.
Your plan B.
That's your plan.
Your plan B.
I'll tell you.
Jumping.
I'll tell you. I have. There's this guy. When I was in Kaduna, I see he works in Sunglass, a company in Kaduna, Sunglass. I can actually, he wrote a polytechnic, I think. I can't actually give a data of this guy. But do you know that this guy rose from a casual staff to a permanent staff within 1 year, to a permanent staff, and then from a permanent staff to a supervisor
Within 1 year.
within 1 year.
Right.
Now let me tell you why. He has a knowledge of electrical engineering. You get
In school.
no
Outside school.
outside school.
Like a skill.
Like a skill.
And then the company he works, he was not even working under the technical department. So as to say, life has issues. He was working as a printing sorter. But then there was always power outage. And then they say this is the problem, and then the electricians there
Could not fix. And this electrician went to school.
went to school,
Great.
studied this same old power stuff, and could not fix this thing. Just like we used to tell our friends in school then, Oga, this thing is not TDO. When you go out to practice it, it's not technical drawing. You will do it in real sense. So these guys could not fix. And then the guy was like, these people are affecting our job. And then they are giving us query that we're not producing. Me, I'll fix this thing.
Right.
You know, there are situations where you can do something and then somebody is belittling you for the same knowledge you have.
Because they have the
Because they have the knowledge,
Right.
they feel,
they have the
They are superior.
certificate.
you understand, they feel they are superior over you. And then at the point you try to show them, come, I can do this thing even more better. And then you present your final result to them, and then they find out, this person is good. You back up. So that guy fixed that issue. You understand? As I speak to you today, that guy is no longer in Kaduna. They transferred him to the headquarters in Lagos.
So this
Yes.
is skill
So
over
skills over certificate, it's very important. Very, very important.
So now, what did he study in school?
I can't really see.
That's the
I can't
thing.
really see.
This is another thing that we have overlooked and
Right.
ignored. Some people would have like talent. They will have that, should I say, inborn skill. But because they want that certificate in, I know this certificate syndrome. You want the most popular one, maybe medical engineering, all this lawyer, all
Just
this,
for the
all this
name.
profession, yeah, just for the name. And parents and individuals ignore their talent. So I feel if people could look inside and proceed further with what you're born with, maybe some people are born very good singers. Why don't you go through that lane of your talent, study for that thing, and then move with it? Then you have that talent. You're like, okay, I'll drop you on the side and get a certificate. I think when you have that talent, it's easier to flow and get a job. What do you think?
Right, to I think to add on to what you said, I know somebody that she studied engineering, but she also has passion for baking. Anything bake,
Wow.
bake, anything baking. And then she did her 5 years, five engineering is 5 years, right? She did her IT, NYSC, all those interesting situations. And then she found herself in a corporate environment. She was actually doing really well. And then she was still doing her baking
Side hustle.
right side hustle. And then she got to a point in her life where she's like, oh, this engineering, this thing, it's not working. Yes, I'm doing it, but it's not working. Deep down, this baking
Is what she really wants.
is really working for me and is paying my bills for me. She actually quit that job and now she's doing her baking. She's doing amazingly well. She's not in Nigeria anymore. With baking, cake, baking meat pie and cookies and
still-
doing this. And she's doing amazingly well. Very, very well. Somebody close to the family. And then now you find some youth like, how will I study engineering for 5 years, 5 years of my sweat and come and start baking? Do you understand? And then the mindset they have towards it or towards baking. I have somebody that say it's not cater, you come and be doing catering work. Or you say you want to be a fashion designer, you say you want to go and do tailoring, you want to go and sew.
Like just like you said, like we have a lot of examples out there
Right.
to give countless of them who are doing very well. And then I will tell you this: go to any organization and check. Those guys doing their jobs pretty well. There are people that didn't even study
Right.
Because
that course.
Exactly.
Go to construction companies, see the guys doing degree jobs there. Some of them are not architects, most of them just came. Do your design your building plan and give it to them. They give even more than what you design. Do you understand? They do the labor. You can't just do without those guys. But do you know the problem? In such cases, the people doing the labor are the ones receiving little.
Exactly.
Then the ones running suit and tie big boys.
And the ones that cannot move.
Yes, and something you cannot do, you want to aim more than.
Somebody that's actually putting in the work.
So me,
This
I
too has
think,
downplayed
like,
blue
of
collar
course,
jobs.
this is another thing that makes people sometimes to say, why would I do this? But you don't say until you're dead, you drop dead. You don't need to give up. So you keep pushing. You understand? You keep pushing. So me, I feel youth have a vital role to play in curbing unemployment. You get rise up. There's still a lot of things for you to do out there.
My uncle would always say, even if you're a barrel pusher and you're failed, let there be that zeal, that activeness in that your barrel pushing. There's no way you will not go find that barrel pushing that you're
So
doing.
this still brings us back to your willingness and
It's
activeness.
willingness.
That's the only thing that will keep
It's
pushing you to
really
go for more.
willingness.
Exactly.
Go for more. So this whole conversation of knowing what to do you think that so many young people in school and that have graduated, at that point of graduating, they're like, oh my god, I don't know what to do with my life. They don't know their bearing. So I think, I don't know if this is also part of what plays in unemployment, the role. So I feel when they know where they're heading to, they can channel it.
Now, that just like you're saying, I always want to say this to people still growing and my age mates. First thing first, you need to discover yourself, self-discovery. You need to understand where you're coming from
Exactly.
and where you're going to. If you don't have a direction, then you're lost. Do you understand?
And which is fine in some cases to be lost,
No,
which is okay.
in some cases, like you said, but it's dangerous.
I
There are
think you
times-
have to be lost to find yourself.
Exactly.
There are times you see, if you're not careful, if you're not careful, if you miss it, you can never get it right. See, I know I used to counter people who see opportunity come but once. I will say no now. You can still make it. You don't give up, you can still make it. But listen, it's the chances of opportunity coming to you over and over again is slim. It only takes the grace of God and your willingness.
I feel like right. It's slim when
Slim.
there's no willingness to use.
There's no active, yes.
Because do you know why?
But
Let's get to this point. You might be willing,
mm,
but you're not focused. Get it?
That's when you don't know your bearing, right?
No, see, if you don't know where you're coming from and where you're going to,
mm,
you cannot change anything.
mm-hmm.
Do you understand?
That's
You
right.
cannot change anything. So first, define yourself. Who are you? What are you? What do I want
Where
to
you
become?
heading to.
How do I go about it? And then you stay focused.
Very true.
Do you get?
Yes.
See, if you're focused, nobody distracts you.
Exactly. When you know what you want.
Just like our days in school now, just like our days in school. If you're focused
Mm-hmm.
that you want to study,
Mm.
even if your friends say, come, let's go and
Let's
play
play.
football, you will not.
Right.
But you've not defined yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know where you're going to.
Mm-hmm.
What do you want to focus on?
Mm.
Just like a blurry lens. You will not see anything.
Very true.
You get? So, for you to be able to be productive to yourself first, you must discover yourself. Then, secondly, discover where you're going to and stay focused on it. There are principles that if you breach these principles,
You've lost it. Right.
See, we have people who will feel these people have money and then we are related to these people either by birth or whatever ways. They've helped other people to make it in life. What happened to us?
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Because they've studied you.
Mm.
You've not even discovered yourself.
Mm.
So they won't invest in what they lost.
But you want to invest in something that will not yield results.
Exactly right.
You get?
Mm.
But if only our youth will rise up and say,
Mm.
let's discover ourselves.
Ourselves, yeah.
If we are saying the economy is bad, how do we fix the economy?
That's the thing. Where there's a problem,
Do
there's
you understand?
Right.
How do we fix the problem? If I wake up today and then I'm able to do something that pays me at least 2k, 3k, you get?
For something.
For something,
It's something to.
not relying on somebody.
Right.
At least that person also has a chance to breathe, and I will breathe freely.
In Igbo, we say cha cha ka cha cha.
But you're not doing anything, and you're
Right.
getting somebody who is doing something.
Exactly.
So when it comes to blaming, people are very fast in unemployment. The government.
The government.
Unemployment.
The
Government,
What
what are you doing?
Exactly. They forget
What
that.
are you
What are you doing?
The government can only provide that atmosphere, that
Let's-
environment.
Let's make this little analysis.
Mm.
I was also looking at Jenny, and then I saw her hair. You know, when I saw her, I was looking at her, Jenny's hair is due for touch up, like,
Right.
you know, but then, now if you start asking her what's up about your hair, how do you go about it? She start telling you, I don't have money, I'm waiting for, like, the common, you know your gender, and I'm very funny.
Say you know your gender.
No, you know your gender. The next thing now, you start waiting for somebody who has somebody who has a G-Wagon. You understand? Somebody who has a G-Wagon
Yeah.
to give you money to go and make your hair.
Mm.
But in a real sense, is that how it's supposed to be?
Mm.
Let's take for instance, you can sew.
Mm.
You're a good tailor, and your friend is a good hairstylist. You get
True, like
now.
that.
There's what we call networking.
Right.
In every business you're doing, every skills you have, there's a network you need to create.
Mm.
Now, when she makes your hair,
You saw my clothes.
you sew her clothes. Even if it's not
Equating.
equating, you understand?
There's.
But then there's a way you can
Yeah.
arise.
Exactly. And achieve.
You understand?
Right.
But then you are waiting for money.
Mm.
From
Waiting
God knows
for money.
where.
Mm-hmm.
How do you
When
go?
you guys intertwine, that problem.
That problem is coming.
is solved, right.
So if you are willing to be productive, you will definitely look for a network.
True.
You understand? Rather than staying and say, government are not doing anything, government are this, government are that. Sir, if they give you a government job today,
Mm.
are you ready to stop sleeping and wake up as early as 4?
Mm-hmm.
Prepare to go out as early as 6 to the office and then you close late? Are you ready?
Right.
That's the willingness we are looking at.
Some people will say, "Oh, I want something flexible or something remote,"
Yeah.
but you're not willing to stand up and go and look for
Yeah.
a remote thing that
Yeah.
actually works for you.
Very
Exactly.
true. I want us to actually analyze. We say the government has not done enough. Do you think the government has done enough or not done enough?
Listen, the government have tried.
Mm.
They have their lapses, no doubt.
Mm.
They have their lapses. And then I'll tell you this. You've tried.
Mm-hmm.
You get. You've tried. We have programs, we have schemes initiated by
Entrepreneurship,
the government.
skills, all those, yes.
Do you understand? Even when they say go and do common SME, go and do SME registration
Yeah.
for free. How many of you have taken that opportunity?
Seriously.
They always think it's.
You understand?
Yeah.
If today they are giving government are providing grants for people with SME certificates, how many youths
Are
are
qualified.
qualified?
Eligible for it.
You think it's something they should come to your house and beg you? You understand?
Something they
And then we have
budget for
scheme.
you.
Look at each administration comes with its own scheme and program.
Mm.
I can tell you number of people who gained through the win program during the lock.
Mm.
Do you understand?
I
I
know
myself
someone that
now I myself I benefited from the Empower scheme.
Mm. I did too.
You get.
I
But
did
check
too.
how many youths made themselves available for that.
Mm.
Only but few. Only for people who were willing. Because truth be told, if I was not willing, I would not apply.
Very true.
Do you understand?
Mm.
Somebody will just sit at home and say, government should give me. Government will not follow you.
Come to your house, your
No.
desk, and say, knock, knock, this your
Yes.
your-
Government.
Don't like I said.
Now and this,
Not
exactly.
like I said. Government have their own lapses,
Yes.
Mm.
which needs to be corrected for the good of this economy.
Mm.
Mm.
Do you understand? We have textile also has been shut down. The Ajokuta steel company.
A lot.
A lot of industries are not working, and even this blue collar jobs we are talking about, welding, tailoring, name them.
How
You
You
can
need
we try?
to see. We need power supply.
Very true.
Do you understand?
Exactly.
Ice block. You cannot even make ice block. There's no power for you to just tie water in nylon and then
Put
make,
inside freezer.
make ice block for you to
To
sell.
sell.
There's no power for that. So government needs to fix all of these
Mm.
things for people to be able to work to do well in their jobs.
Mm.
But then, whatever you are doing,
Mm.
make sure you have an entrepreneurial skill
Mm.
that guides you. You are supposed to be
That
guided.
backs you up.
Yes, you're supposed to be
So that
guided.
if for some reason
Mm.
you wake up and things go south,
Yeah,
you
if
have
there
when
is
to
no job,
fall back on.
like you said, because the number of demand and the number of supply are limited.
Right.
There's limited job
Jobs.
opportunities out
And
there.
much more.
And much
Because
much
if you
more.
look every year people are graduating. Today people are passing out of NYSC.
And those
And then people are still
And
graduating
training.
from school and still, do you understand? So a lot.
So let's talk about solution here. What role does the youth have to? Because this is like a two-way thing. The government have to come walk to the middle, and the youth walk to the middle to meet at a point. So how can the government, the youth especially, come to a midpoint for this long-standing issue to be resolved?
I'll probably say create awareness.
Awareness of jobs.
Yes. Create awareness of jobs. Probably not jobs, like skills. Like he said, if youth are even willing to even show up for that
to
campaign.
meet at the mid.
Do you understand? For that campaign, government can come and say, "Oh, today that there is this skill acquisition." Yeah. I was listening to the radio sometime, and they were saying something about where was I can't remember the states that the government created a skill campaign something, and then the turn up was poor. The youth turn up was poor. What is happening? Is it that they are not interested? Is it that they want them to do something better that they are not doing? Or is it that there is a skill that they're supposed to add that they did not add? What, like, do you understand? That same problem. Like I said,
Yeah.
government have their lapses, but They are trying their
their
best.
best.
Exactly.
So I feel there are some people that I think it was Jibo that was telling me that some people that would go for this whole scheme and empowerment,
Mm.
and at the end of the day, they are not interested. They just want the money. Just government give me and let me be going to my house. So
Exactly.
I feel there's a distrust between the government and the people.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. Do you have an end remark?
Well, for me, I'll just see this for my brothers, my sisters out there.
Yes.
Particularly, we're one Nigeria, and then for us to make the system work, we all need to stand tall. So
Mm.
making it work.
Mm.
Now, I always say this. First, like I said, discover yourself.
Mm.
What do you want?
Where am I going?
Why am I even going there?
Mm.
You get these questions must be answered. You get now having answered these questions, you will get
The right
the
answer.
right
Right
answers
answer.
to them. Now, if you've answered these questions well, it means you must stand tall. You get, and then for government, yes, I know. Like I said, the government are trying, but you need to try more. Our
Mm-hmm.
government needs to try more.
Mm.
You get, and then encourage youth. Encourage youth. Look at the rate of insecurity, terrorism in our country.
Most of them are
It's
youth.
really alarming. To find out most of the attacks and whatever, young boys
Fresh
who are
boys.
supposed to be doing well in one sector or the other, carrying guns.
Mm.
You get, like a caption where I saw sometime last year during an attack in Kaduna. Then he captioned a boy who an illiterate who cannot even call the word kidnapping, was saying kimashing, who killed a professor.
Oh Lord.
Understand something? An illiterate who killed a professor. Why?
Because he's not.
And I don't forget an idle man is the devil's workshop.
Exactly.
So the government needs to wake up. The youth working. Now, if you're bringing any scheme, monitor it. Our major problem in Nigeria is they will tell you every scheme has been monitored, but we do not have continuity.
Very true.
There's no continuity.
Yes.
Now, if this government introduce a scheme,
They stop halfway.
if the next government comes into office, they scrap it down,
Yes.
bring another one.
They don't see it to the end.
You understand? If you are bringing, you win, or you're bringing empower, let's do empower
Till the end.
till
the
the
end.
end of it.
You know, empower is gone. Empower is empire. Start
Empower.
fresh. Something else.
But then,
There are a lot of schemes, and those schemes are not meeting up to
they're not meeting up. They're not meeting up. So, let's have a continuous process in our government. That's our major problem with the government. There is no continuous process. If today this administration decides to say, hey, I want to stand tall to make Ariwa Textile work, invest money into it to revive Ariwa Textile, how sure are we that the next government will come and pick up?
Continue with it.
Right.
You understand? The next administration will come and say, no, now, we have sent money to this one. We want street lights in all of our
And
streets.
that's
So they don't spend money doing street lights.
that's
You've forgotten about the other one.
now coming.
So that's the lapses. So our government should stand tall too for us. So that's my call.
Very interesting. And Jenny, what's your last remark?
I'd say the youth should really honestly sit up. Because like he said something about professor, somebody and
Killing.
you will see somebody that is tech inclined. I always say this. That knowledge you are using to do,
Yahoo.
if you bring out that knowledge and sit down and think about an innovation you can create with that knowledge.
Very true. Very true. I feel it's the mindset too. If both the governments and the youths we all channel ourselves together, we'll be able to
Achieve something
achieve
great.
something and end this long-standing issue. Thank you very much for joining us here on 360 Youth Dialogue, and we've been able to dissect this, and we hope for a change in Nigeria. Thank you, and see you next time.